Hey, there we are. Hi, everybody. I am Brandon Jones. I'm joined by Brad Ellis. And this
Hello.
is the Easy Allies Community Showcase for June 2021. June is a big month for Easy Allies because we were returning to the studio. So Brad Ellis has the dubious honor of being the last fool to sit in his
Yep.
chair at home, stuck, with this stupid pandemic and the stupid stay-at-home nonsense and all of this stuff that's made life so frustrating. Everything's about to change, but not today. We are still living in the past today. Going through the last month of creative submissions from our community. This is our $10 and above tier on patreon.com/easyallies. A post goes up near the end of the month every month, and people just put all sorts of crazy stuff into the post. We have drawings. We have screenshots. Screenshots actually, I think, takes the win. Maybe ties with videos in terms of like most submissions. Only one piece of music. Kevin Gillet did submit something, but it is not something Kevin wrote, but is nonetheless still musically fascinating. And some great Breath of the Wild screenshots, some real fun art. All of this submitted at that tier. So if you want to be a part of July's showcase at the end of the month, you can just make sure sometime this month you join up at that tier. And then at the end of the showcase, I'm going to make the post live for everybody because we have some stragglers. Robert Lee, I saw your DM to me on Twitter, and we have some people that didn't have Google permissions set up, so they might have changed that. So we always have a couple to make up at the end of the showcase. Excuse me. When the showcase is over, I'm going to make that public so you can go to patreon.com/easyallies, click on Community Showcase on our tabs, and check out the June and all the ones before that in case you want to see any of YouTube channels that you've enjoyed. Happy Gaming is dropping another review on us, and so all of these, it's always nice to check in with all these people. Starting off with comments, it's just going to be Brad smiling and nodding and responding to these for the next foreseeable for about an hour or more. James Davey kicking it off. Hey, Brad and Brandon, I just want to start the showcase by acknowledging my inspiration and appreciation for Brad and his composure when playing tough games. I wish I had the patience and forthrightness of Brad. I feel those qualities make demanding games like Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Souls games, Neo and Returnal more tolerable. How does Brad cope with the constant deaths in these games? Let's stop there. How do you cope?
I guess growing up playing the NES and Super Nintendo, the older games, Jones, you can relate to this. Games were very hard back then, and death was a very common thing. And I guess just over time, I'm okay with that and learning from my mistakes, I'd say.
I saw somebody this year, a streamer facing the Lion King, and it was like, cool, back to the main menu, and she was like, what?
Yep.
What do you mean game over? That's not how it works. It's like that's how it used to work. I assume his composure and diligence are out of this world. I've been playing quite a few interesting games so far this year, and I thought I'd give some brief opinions on them below. New Pokemon Snap, a nostalgic yet refreshingly new entry after 22 years of waiting. I was only 7 when the original came out, and despite not knowing any Pokemon beyond Generation 2, NPS tempts me to find out about the Pokemon I formerly knew nothing about. I think I mentioned this to you, before we were doing a group stream or something, Brad. I was like, ooh, Pokemon Snap is... I didn't know I needed it. I'm not going to be able to make a lot of time for it. I got golf coming up in a couple weeks. But it made me realize how much, because I've had this job for 2 decades, how much I love trying to make a camera steady in a game. It's like, oh, get that nice shot. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this actually, this scratches an itch. Little Nightmares 2, a surprising sequel that cleans up the iffy tendencies of the original and doubles down on all the frightful Burton-esque delights that make these games stand out from its contemporaries. Which you reviewed, right, Brad?
Yep, great game.
Maquette,
Great game.
a brief but lovely puzzle game that contains a beautiful soundtrack and a gentle tone that's welcoming and wonderful. I like the brief part of that. It's tempting. Near Replicant, version whatever. Despite the tedious fetch quests and its tiresome labyrinthine combat idiosyncrasies, Near Replicant is extraordinary, elegant, touching, funny, and awe-inspiring with one of the greatest modern video game soundtracks out there. That repose piece of music makes me tear up. Just don't go around saying Replicant's full name. It'll make you sound like a robot. Resident Evil 8, perhaps a little too reminiscent of previous Resident Evil games. It doesn't captivate the way RE7 did it, rejuvenating the RE franchise from the confused mess, which was the 6th installment. RE8 still packs in a gripping and entertaining jaunt, and those weapons sound absolutely tasty. Yeah. That is a fun... Yeah. I really like when you go off in front of the Duke. He's like, yes. If you just
I love the Duke. I really like Village. Really good Resident Evil game.
Guns are fun. Yeah, that game at the end of the day. Yeah, it was neat too because it's so spoilery, but like there were parts we talked about in the spoiler mode that I've actually kind of done a 180 on that I was not into, and now like the more you play a game 4 or 5 times, and it's just like, wait a minute, like the more I think about this, it's fun. Ari's in a good place. Ethan Winters could do with being less soppy and should stop stating the obvious. I know he's got personal problems to deal with, but he could be a little more mentally sharper. Yeah, snap out of it, Winters. Control Ultimate Edition.
Ethan.
Yeah, geez, man. Get your hand back on. Get back to work. Control Ultimate Edition. The map and the characters leave something to be desired, but Control is the kind of empowering sci-fi video game that makes you want to learn more and make use of all the game's abilities. A deftly constructed telekinetic powerhouse by developers who know how to tell captivating stories that are begging to be TV shows. I love that game. I'm scared. I haven't played any DLC because it's like I don't want to get lost in that game again. Jessie Faden could do with being more emphatic with what she wants. We hear what she thinks, and she doesn't act on what her brain is telling her. I guess she's representative of our modern-day capitalist society where we know things are wrong, but we won't do anything about it. Dun dun. And then, I can't believe you're leaving us on this one, James. But knowing you, I could see you be into this. Terminator Resistance Enhanced Edition. A one-dimensional Fallout-like FPS that is bereft of variety and packs in the cliched crafting and collectibles, disguising itself from its true identity as a boring Terminator game that doesn't give us a good reason as to why it's squatting on the PS5. Do any of the allies like UFC or MMA in general? Thanks for all you do. Love and respect. I'm surprised that it disguises itself. It looks like a pretty boring Terminator game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not disguising itself very well. Do you like UFC or MMA?
I've seen a couple fights. Like, if I'm somewhere with people that like watching them, I have a good time, but I don't actively seek them out in any way.
I got into MMA around like 2008. Then from 2008 to 2011, I really got into UFC.
Was that like the Spike era?
Mm-hmm. Because Jeff Gross was really into it when I was working with it.
The game trailers,
yeah.
GTV, all that stuff like blends together for me.
Yeah, and then they had the infamous UFC breakup because they used to do Ultimate Fighter at Spike. Right. And I used to do, if you want to go back, man, there's no way. Because Spikes.com's not even a thing anymore. All that voiceover work. But I used to do Spike, the Ultimate Fighter. Like
really?
Dude, I did a little, cool. It was just the web stuff. It never made it to TV, but just on their website, they would have like added interviews. And they'd be like, this guy's pissed because somebody punched him in the nuts. And then he would have his interview. I would do like the supplemental VO. Good times. Stage Mode Q. Hey, Jones and Brad. Well, May is done, and I can just say what a fantastic month for video games with games like Monster Hunter Rise and Nier spilling over, and great new releases from the past couple weeks like Returnal and Mass Effect. May has been wall-to-wall gaming. I need to move a window. Sorry.
Wall-to-wall.
Just realized I ain't looking in chat, like, at all. Cool. Wall-to-wall gaming, but in the end, I think we can all agree that it was the month of Village. I don't think a game has consumed me like RE8 in a long time. I gotta be honest, I wasn't expected to talk about RE8 a lot today, but of course, big release. Like most people, I beat it 3 times in that first week. I'm still going through hunting that platinum. That's the funny thing. I've beaten it 5 times. No interest in the platinum at all. I saw a couple of things you got to do. Some of my favorite achievements are like the monetary thing. You got to have 77,777 or something like, or some variant of that. And I'm like, I'm sure I could get that if I put 15 minutes into it, but I don't know if I have the time. I don't really like to 100% games. I'm usually just trying to beat the main story and move on to the next just because of the sheer volume of my backlog. But going back to 2 Remake and so on with 3 Remake and Biohazard, it's become a little bit of a tradition for me to platinum those RE games. Shout out to Huber. I think, and this is terrible because there's a lot of aesthetic things that they're doing really well, I think, in the Resident Evil series. I think that's the best thing the series has going for it, and I think it's the thing they've really, like, almost perfected. It's just that desire to just get back in there and kick some ass. Like, get back in, my shotgun, limited ammo and my pistol. Like, they've really figured that out, and it's neat to see them. When I went into RE8, I was like, I hope it's a lot like RE7. It is. Neat. Okay. Like, I hope all the systems are still in place. A lot of options. Now our eyes turn to June, what is staring us in the face, but none other than what's staring us in the face, Brad?
Mini games, but for me, Intergrade.
Oh yeah, baby! Final Fantasy VII Intergrade. Every time I type out or say Intergrade, I always think I'm saying it wrong. I got to say the rollout for Intergrade is a little confusing to me. When can we actually buy it if we already own it? If you think they would have said something by now with it coming in the next out next month. I don't know. Maybe they did. I'm just dumb. I was wondering if Brad had any knowledge on this or if he's just lost as I am. Yeah, how does it work?
I do. So, I mean, it'll come out on the 10th. If you have the PS4 version, let me make this very clear, though, also. It's $20, I believe, if you own it already. But if you got the game on PS Plus when it was available for the monthly game, that does not count. You need to buy it separately. So if you got the free version, you cannot pay $20 to upgrade. But if you already own it, $20.
All right.
You get the Yuffie stuff in the integrated version. PS5 only, though. Sorry if you have PS4.
The stipulation is so sour. It's like...
Oh, yeah, it's confusing.
It's like, that doesn't seem to me... I mean, who knows? That doesn't seem to me to be something that they would be like, oh, well, we'd have to go in and do coding to make it work, and we just don't feel like doing that. That seems like something they went in and added code to be like, no. Hands off. Pay up. That'd be weird to have already played Final Fantasy VII and then buy it. To, like, buy DLC.
Yeah.
If you got it for PS Plus and then play it.
Yeah.
Crazy. Shout out to Brad, for having the info. Before I end this post, I want to get a quick shout out to Hitman 3. Hell yeah. After everything that's come out this year, Hitman 3 is still my favorite game. I don't think I beat it. I think I still have to finish that last level.
Clarification. The upgrade is free. They're right. So you can get the PS5 version, but the Yuffie stuff is $20. Yuffie chapters. But you can get the 60 frames, better textures PS5 version for free, I guess.
Got it. Yeah, I think Hitman 3's potential, like, just where we're at, I mean, a lot of stuff's going to happen before the end of the year, but, like, if we had to pick 10 GOTYs right now, I would probably put Hitman 3 on there. Hitman 3 is really solid.
Yeah.
Just a well-made game. After everything that's come out this year, Hitman 3 is still my favorite game that I played this year, and with it being about the halfway mark of the gaming season, I just wanted to shout it out and say I'm going to be campaigning for it all year so that you guys do not forget it about come GOTY time. I do not want to get the Jedi Fallen Order treatment where it comes out at the beginning of the year and everybody forgets about it at the end.
I didn't forget about it.
No, dude.
I won't say that.
You and I...
Ben went to bat with me too, and Jones was in it too.
Yeah, you and I were definitely... You reviewed Fallen Order, and I cut it. I think you and I talked a lot about Fallen Order.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but Fallen Order is like the Horizon thing, man. Now that we're not like Horizon 2's, Forbidden West, we're getting looks like that game looks incredible. I think Fallen Order is the same thing. I think Fallen Order is going to come back with a sequel that like...
Oh my god, yeah, the budget will be insane.
Really crazy. They're going to figure it all out. It's a phenomenal game that deserves its praise, love, and respect. Hitman 3. Caesar Villa, hello, Brad and Jones. For a change, May was a good month for my gaming, with a couple of things beaten and some good progress in others. We finally got 4 stars on all of the Overcooked 2 levels. Nice. Something more than 6 months in the making, what I consider an impossible task after the cousin moved back to her hometown to spend the rest of the pandemic, but the wife really stepped up her game. We finally hit that milestone. Overcooked reminds me of Guitar Hero. In that Guitar Hero 1, I 5-starred everything. Guitar Hero 2, no. I was like 98%. Yeah. There were 2 songs, I think, in Guitar Hero 2 that was just like, forget it. Same thing with Overcooked. Amanda and I tried, and we're just like, this isn't fun anymore. Like, we're going to get divorced after this. The wife really stepped up her game. Is so funny. Moving on to single-player gaming, I beat all 300 puzzles of Mario Super Picross, solving 2 a day every morning for the past couple of months. I'm really glad Nintendo added it to the Switch Online thingy. I was hoping for an American release ever since they announced it for the Wii Virtual Console in Europe, and lost all hope after the Wii U was canned, but it finally made it. It was totally worth the wait. This feels good because people talk about stuff that they want on Switch, whether it's the SNES games or stuff that was on the Wii U. So it's nice to like... Somebody got one. Somebody got a game that they were excited about on the system because the Switch is just so cool. It's like, let's just get everything on the Switch. And to close after so many years in the backlog, I love that we're not even halfway through the post and we're already closing. And to close, after so many years in the backlog, I started Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii, and it has been a mixed bag. I remember you, Brad, talking about it on Frame Trap and saying how the Switch version really enhanced the character models. At the time, I didn't think it would be a big deal, but yeah, playing the game, now I get you. Those models look so lifeless that it's easy to believe the Switch update improved on that. It's funny because I just beat Resident Evil 4 on that same Wii 4 times prior to picking Xenoblade, and it's hilarious how better RE4 models look in comparison. And it's not even a Wii native game. It's a GameCube port that looks exactly the same as the game in the previous platform. Other than that, I think this will be my debut and farewell for the franchise. I have not progressed much, and while I've liked the story so far and the lots the lots of things to do the game offers, the combat system is not my cup of tea. It's funny because I have no problems with old school RPGs like Final Fantasy with their turn-based and command-based combat systems, but for Xenoblade, I don't like that after approaching an enemy, I select an attack from a list while running around dodging the enemies or saving fallen teammates. Either map the attacks to buttons or let me do combos or have me go into a battle screen where everything is commands. Anyway, that's my take so far. Let's see how that progresses in the following months. That's it for my monthly gaming update. I'm really happy you guys. I just wondered if saying you guys is still grammatically and politically correct. English is a second language. I'm never certain of things. I've asked this several times to the Easy Allies community and to friends, and I've had women tell me before that they're like, meh. I'm just, that surprises me because I have had women say I don't like saying you guys. I like saying you know. That's why I say distinguished guests on the podcast. But I have had dear friends be like, oh, it doesn't matter. So who knows? I'm never certain of things. Got all vaccinated and went back in the studio in a glimpse. Estamos in contact, Caesar. Thank you, Caesar. Shout out to the Wii U.
Don't hear that very often.
Brad Ellis has Wii U games that
I do.
Brad Ellis wants on Brad Ellis' Switch. Small Leviathan. Howdy, folks. Howdy, folks. I recently marathoned the entire Dishonored series on a whim. So,
yes.
So that's Dishonored 1 and 2 and just a boatload of DLC, right?
Yes. Yep.
So for this showcase, I'm going to challenge myself by summarizing my opinion on each part of the series in 100 words or less. I'm counting Dishonored 1's DLC as its own thing, so that's 4 parts in total to get through. Ready, set, go! Dishonored. One of the first things that struck me upon replaying this game is just how good it looks. Nice, nearly 10 years after its initial release. It's kind of like Warcraft. It just makes you happy. It's just a pretty, holds up. The style, there's some move you do where maybe it's just automatic where he like rotates the knife in his hand.
Yeah, the blade takes it out and puts it away.
I would love it like a Batman game in that style. The stylized character designs and the painterly landscapes really give the game a unique visual identity that stands out to this day. It's predictably the most primitive game in the series, especially if you're doing a non-lethal playthrough, in which case your toolset is heavily limited. The whole game also has a far more bleak and cruel worldview than its sequels, something that can definitely be a turnoff nowadays. Still a fantastic game, though. Best level, Lady Boyle's Last Party. I went to a party at PAX that was at a house that looked nothing like her house, but was the lady people were walking around in masks and they had demo stations set up and stuff. Events. They were fun. I miss them. And we got to demo that level. Knife of Dunwall, Brigmore Witches. Knife of Dunwall / Brigmore Witches. This 2-part 6-level DLC is about half the length of Dishonored's main campaign, but that's probably a good thing because the result is an experience that is far more focused with a story that is better told and characters that are better realized than anything we see in the base game. The game also expands on the non-lethal options, though I have to admit something, I don't like the chaos system at all. For all their attempts to dress it up, it's just a boring moral choice system that limits your options rather than letting you make dynamic choices. Best level, the Dead Eels. I did not play this. I'm unfamiliar. Dishonored 2. I think the differences between the first and second games in the series are demonstrated aptly by the differences between their protagonists, Corvo and Emily. I know you can play as Corvo, but Emily is canonically the protagonists. Corvo's power set is largely offensive in nature, leaving you with limited options if you're trying to avoid doing that. Meanwhile, Emily's is incredibly flexible and diverse, lending itself to any playstyle you want. In much the same way, Dishonored 2 is a more flexible game with more options than ever before. Shame that the PC port isn't very good.
It wasn't good when it came out, but I played it on PC and it was fine for me. So, I don't know.
I mean, this was a replay, and so
I played it a while ago, though, so I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Best level. I'm always curious about that, like that, to learn about ports that were bad that later got fixed, because that stuff just gets totally erased from my brain. Best level, A Crack in the Slab. Death of the Outsider. Just gonna say it's my favorite game in the series. By paring down your skill set into just 3 powers, Arcane hyper-focuses the level design around the tools they know you'll always have, creating some of the best moments in the whole series. Also, the chaos system is gone, a change that opens up a fantastic side quest system. I also think this is the best the story ever gets in the series. Billy Lurk is a fantastic protagonist, and her role as the one making the final choice of the entire franchise makes for a great send-off. Spoilers! Best level, Follow the Ink. That's my entire word budget for the month. Happy Pride, everyone. Love and respect. Small Leviathan, trans bi, and proud. Splatoon 3 is absolutely going to be at E3, as Damiani is insane for thinking otherwise. You were on the last... You've done a lot of podcasts lately, Brad. Thank you. But yeah, you were on the last one where I was just like, so here's this thing about Nintendo, and Damiani every time just like...
Yeah. I'm used to
You
that
can
with
think that if you
Damiani
want.
and Blood, you know? They're
just
always
help
so
me, dude.
sure of themselves about Nintendo. That's why, Jones, I'll never forget when Blood said Animal Crossing was going to be at E3 that one time and it wasn't there. I'll never forget that.
And I think I was like mad at him, but even when he said it, I was like,
yep,
don't do that to me, Blood. Brandon K. Gann. I finally played Republic Commando for the first time, and while I don't regret playing it, there's so much I wish was better. Only 3 locations, so environments get old quickly, difficulty spikes at the end of the first 2 campaigns, and the constant slog of the third wore me down, and the ending is anticlimactic as the game just ends. The best thing about it is the hook of playing a clone commando, but 9 hours of nothing but increasingly difficult combat scenarios with repetitive enemies shows its age. I also turned 29, so there's that, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember Clone Commando is one of those games that like really fits the gen. Like you go back and you like the HUD comes up and you're like, ah, right, yes, I recall, shooters on the Xbox and PS2. But it does hold up. If I had to associate getting anything to celebrate the occasion, though, I already had my birthday for over a week, was Mr. Huber's Resident Evil Village playthrough. I've said it a couple of times, but to share again, which I haven't viewed any of, I was and am still mostly averse to survival horror and Resident Evil in general, but something about Resident Evil 7 intrigued me, and his playthroughs are enjoyable. There's just something about them, of both sharing his love and passion for the franchise and his high expertise of knowing most of the game, aka all blue runs, that makes me want to watch primarily his streams. As of now, I would put Village behind 2 Remake and 7 as my favorites I've seen. However, most of May, and an unknown amount for a while, has been dedicated to the virtual possibility of buying a PS5. The process is, quote-unquote, hilarious. I just need to not be working and online at the right random time for it to be available, only to either sell out in seconds or, if directly from Sony, sit on a page for 20 or 30 minutes to be told it's gone. Best Buy let me go as far as checkout, but told me I couldn't buy because it wasn't in a store in my entire state.
Oh. Ooh,
sorry.
That's rough.
I don't mean to chuckle. I'm sorry. Sony had a glitch appearing to be in an early queue, only to be a false alarm. Walmart took it out of my cart as I was putting in my info. Amazon, for the first time ever in over a decade, claimed this address is ineligible after I had it in the cart. Again, hilarious. And because of this, I'm prohibited from playing both Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, and I'm cutting this review today, and totally thought of this, Brandon K. Gann, as I was reading the VO for the review, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, until I get it. I'll also reiterate, why can't companies take my info and payment after launch, put me in back order, and ship it when it's my turn? I don't care if it takes months, just give me the guarantee. To close, this month is a yearly tradition of mine, E3 preparation. Normally, I would have all kinds of hype, but I'm tepid now because, like most, I have no clue what this year's E3 will look like. Neither do we. Yeah, I'm still skosh pessimistic, but optimistic that that'll be worth it. That'll be turned around. Looking forward to seeing the Microsoft Bethesda combo, me too, and the Summer Game Fest kickoff stream, but I'm not sure how I'll feel heading into June 10th through the 13th. We will see. Good luck getting that PS5.
Yeah, good luck. Brutal out there.
Something I totally take for granted, Just, hearing Huber's thoughts about Ratchet, because the thought I had was, I was like, I'm looking forward to playing that. I bet a lot of people are too that will not be able
Won't get to play it.
Parasite Paladin. Hello, you two. Another month, another excuse to talk about professional wrestling.
Oh.
New Japan has been stumbling a bit, yet it is still enjoyable. Though their newish hour-long weekly shows, NJPW Strong is just as wonderful. Impact is forever an easy breezy fun watch. And all Elite Wrestling knows how to put on a good weekly show. Plus the fact that the 3 have been working together a bit is just super damn cool. Though my greatest love goes to Stardom, since it brings me the most joy. And I wanted to talk about my favorite wrestler, Tam Nakano. I started watching Stardom in 2020, but Tam has been wrestling since 2016. I will admit I don't know a ton about her past, but I love her as she is now. I'll have to decide how far back into the archives I want to watch her stuff at some point. She's had a couple of gimmicks from what I can tell, and for you, Jones, from Wikipedia, a gimmick generally refers to a wrestler's in-ring persona, character, behavior, attire, and or other distinguishing traits while performing, which are usually artificially created in order to draw fan interest. She is currently wrestling as a typical Japanese quote-unquote idol, always saying that she is the cutest in the universe. Before this, which I sadly did not witness, she had a martial arts gimmick. I think it was Kung Fu based on her ring gear. She carried around a stuffed animal panda called P-chan. Not sure what the gimmick was before her signing with Stardom in 2017, but I know she wrestled in some death matches in which she wore jumpsuit overalls. Makes sense, those death matches were exploding ones where you probably wouldn't want any exposed skin. Oh my. The matches are not available to watch anywhere, sadly, but there are some gifs. Tam can sure swing and get hit with an exploding barbed wire bat like a pro. Part of the whole idol thing is being cute, which she is successful in, making a big reason why I like her. Who knows? She's one of the handful of wrestlers that has a baseline innocent demeanor and will at times switch to super serious one when shit gets real. In the ring and in backstage segments, Tam knows how to tell a story with emotion. All caps. So is Pro, by the way, which is why she is the current Wonder of Stardom champion. She also is the leader of her own unit/faction group called the Cosmic Angels. I also love them very much. Absolutely overwhelmingly endearing. Tam Nakano is my favorite, and Stardom is wonderful. Thank you again for giving me an outlet to let this out. Love and respect. I love Tam!
Times you just gotta let it out.
Yeah, I know we do. I know it's the submission. I gotta... Just for myself, I gotta look at the pictures now. Yeah, I gotta see who we're talking about. Oh, nice, fun. And I love that, like, the difficulties, like going into her past and being like, what outfit is she wearing? What is she going for here?
Yeah.
Do you have any? I know that you and Huber's interest in wrestling in various forms and companies has waned over the years. It's like a roller coaster. Do you have any names or personalities that still stand out just above all of it? And you're just like, oh, I will always love X.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's certain like Kenny Omega is one of the best. AJ Styles are like my two favorite wrestlers.
On a performance level, because they did very well, or just because you love those people?
All around as. Yeah. People, I would guess. They're like big into video games too, so that's sweet. And like Kenny's like big into Street Fighter and fighting games and stuff.
I was super into wrestling during the Macho Man, Hulk, during like all that era. And so Rowdy Roddy was my favorite, and like I couldn't tell you if that was based on any sort of technique. Like I don't know if I ever even watched him wrestle. Like I think I might have just been like, Andre the Giant is awesome, Did you hear he's going to be in a fantasy movie? That's sweet. Level Capybara. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Brad. And shout out to any Braddens and Brands watching the showcase. I've been rewriting this comment for the showcase a lot, struggling to think what I want to express the most. But when I really reflect on it, so often the most important thing you can tell someone is thank you. So 2 things. First, thank you, Isla, for being brave, true to herself, and just a genuinely awesome artist and human being. Second, thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Brad. And thank you to all the allies for everything EZA has done over the past year. The world changed dramatically, but the fact that you still managed to adapt and make awesome content showed me that not everything that made the old days special had necessarily gone away. I hope it's not too easy to take for granted that what may seem routine to you can inspire a lot of hope in others. You are all a huge source of that hope for me. Love and respect and best wishes on your triumphant return to the studio, Level Capybara. P.S. It was great getting to hear Brad and Bloodworth trading notes on 3 excellent soundtracks in the most recent episode of Soundtrack Club. Personally, I'd be curious to hear Brad's thoughts on Chrono Cross sometime as well. I also realized I should have nominated Isla's song Game Submission from Concert for Brad a while back. It is technically a game soundtrack, and I'm pretty sure it was up for several Gang and Goaty Awards when it debuted. Or it should have been anyway. From Joseph Caruso, hey Brad, Jones, and chat, I would like to talk about how context can affect our excitement and enjoyment of a game. A recent example for this for myself was playing Super Mario 3D World on the Switch. After playing through the Wii U version just after it released, I sold the game right away because I didn't enjoy it that much, let alone did I imagine wanting to replay it in the foreseeable future. However, I got the Switch version, and while I had a blast with the new mode Bowser's Fury, I was surprised how much fun I was having playing through the base game. Now, over 7 years later, I appreciate Super Mario 3D World for being such a solid, unapologetic platformer. I believe why I was unsatisfied all those years ago because I was starved for a more exploratory 3D Mario game, and a gem like Mario Odyssey was nowhere on the horizon. Of course, I went into the game fully aware of what it was, but maybe I still played it begrudgingly, wishing Nintendo would make bigger risks with their formula. But now, after playing games like Mario Odyssey and even Bowser's Fury, Mario 3D World tastes like a delicious side of fries. Who knows, maybe the increase in movement speed and resolution is making a bigger impact than I'm noticing, but I believe the change in video game variety and the more mature mindset have transformed the same exact game from a forgettable experience to something I can truly appreciate. Also worth noting that 7 years ago I was still paying off my massive college loan, so my income was much less disposable, and the personal value of a $60 game was a much bigger concern. Now, I don't feel the need to constantly consider if a game is worth buying or keeping. Let's stop there. We're moving into Zelda. We can talk about Zelda in a second. Have you ever had this? Have you ever had just like a game where it's not only that like, time passed, but like, now I got older, or, I wasn't as scary or was scarier, or...
I can't think of anything off the top of my head because there's like a million games racing through my head. But you should go. Why? Try to think of one if you have one.
Well, just MMOs, like that. I've left MMOs and gone back. I've seen MMOs that have changed. It was interesting. It was interesting. Like, I was super sad 14 wasn't good. Like I remember, like I was so ready. I had my balloons out, and like I pre-ordered it, and I was like, I wasn't crazy enough that my buddy Todd and Damiani both at the same time were like, we're going to be there to the absolute millisecond. And I think I had work or something that day. And I was just like, all right. And then like within hours, Damiani was like, oh no. I'm like, what happened? He was just like, oh no, for all, it was millions of reasons, that they all mostly fixed. But it was so the start, I was at the starting line. I'm like ready to run. And then, eventually got back to it.
It was interesting how they brought up how like $60 was a lot different for them 5 years ago or whatever. And that reminds me of the PS2 era when I didn't have a ton of money at that age. And I was like really considering every game I'd buy. I would buy a lot of RPGs, Jones, just because of the length. And I was like, oh, I really get my money out of this kind of thing.
Oh, nice. Sure. Yeah.
And I probably missed out on a lot of great games just because of that fact where I was like, I can't like invest in this game because I don't want it to be over in 5 hours or 8 hours. But I probably missed a lot of great stuff at the time.
Respect the length. On a bigger scale, I think how the average Zelda fan reacted to the reveal of Twilight Princess versus their reaction to the Wind Waker. The trailer for Twilight Princess made the game look so epic, cinematic, and mature, but in the end, I don't think that's what we really want from our Zelda games. Well, some people do.
That's what I wanted from that one.
It's just that at the time, there was this underlying concern that Nintendo games were too childish, especially after the recently released Wind Waker had such a cartoony art style. But now, I think it's safe to say that more people would agree that Wind Waker is the superior title. Oh, that's an interesting take. I've certainly heard it all over the place. Twilight Princess just felt like it would be a breath of fresh air, like Nintendo was taking off the chains and going wild, giving the fans what they actually wanted, or at least what we thought we wanted. Sometimes we don't know what we want until we have it, or if we lose it and get it back.
I mean, like I said at the time, I wanted Zelda to go in that direction, especially after that Space World trailer they showed in like 2000 of what
that audience wanted it. You can hear it.
Yeah, and it's like, I really like the Wind Waker, but I personally like Twilight Princess more as a game. But, I mean, I like both styles, so I win either way.
Yeah, so either way, Brad wins.
Yeah, either way, I win.
But I think of something like Metroid Prime 4, where it's like, that's just going to be a video game. That's just going to be a video game that you can play, and then in a couple hours, it's going to be over, and you'll have a good time. Whereas I think right now, for some people, it's like the next Mass Effect. It's a little bit more than a game. Like, it needs to kind of define what's happening with these characters in this franchise.
A lot of drama around it.
And that's tough. That's like a lot. And so I think sometimes you can... That's kind of how I felt about Resident Evil Village. Like, when after that was done with Resident Evil Village, especially the end, I was like, what? This got really cheesy and was weird. And then, like, on my second or third playthrough, I'm like, yeah, this fits, actually. I really dig this. Like, I really like... I can put Village down and look at it fondly, even though I do have issues. And so, like, my opinion changed even after that first playthrough. So it's nice to kind of compartmentalize games once we're familiar with them, once we know what it is. It's so painful, now just being like... Elden Ring, same thing. Just a game. Just some fun RPG that you'll play and then forget about later. Whereas right now, it's like, it's so important. Megan Linhart. Hello, Brad and Brandon. So I've been kind of struggling with what I wanted to write. I kind of jumped on this super late, so I'll probably just recap some anime I've been watching. And man, I've been watching so much these past few months, so just going to throw out some quick notes. Then hopefully next month it won't be as crazy. Well, I finally finished Naruto.
Nice.
And as a whole, it was great. I truly was heartbroken about Sasuke and Naruto. Ending on that was quite crazy to me. I was not expecting them to take those big risks with the storytelling, and it went ways I wasn't really expecting. Started up Shippuden now, and oh boy, the task seems daunting, but I'm roughly on episode 15, and it's just been so great seeing him grow up before my eyes. Nice. Seeing them grow up before my eyes. Loved it. Finished up JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and wow, what a series. Watching part 1, I really didn't see what the hype was about, but after finishing, I see what they mean. I haven't cried this much in any other anime before.
Oh, shit.
The tears start flowing later in JoJo. Boy, as it goes along, you can truly see the evolution of this author, and it just gets better and better. I was pretty blown away. Almost done with The Great Teacher Onizuka, and talk about an amazing anime. You don't really get many shows that give us the student-teacher dynamic, and this does it in a very wholesome way while still being very funny and witty. I highly recommend this one. It's older, but it still feels quite timeless. That's Great Teacher Onizuka. Lastly, I want to mention a new Chinese anime I've started called Link Click, regular spelling on both of those. It's so good. I really love its interesting premise and its amazing art style, music, and voice acting. It also ties in real-world events. One episode had me in tears. It's such a hidden gem. Highly recommend. That's about it. Sorry, this is kind of all over the place next month. Oh no, this is laser-focused on excellent anime. Hopefully be a bit smoother. I'm so excited for E3. Can't wait to see your amazing coverage throughout the week. There's something, I get kind of locked and loaded for E3. I'm just like, yeah, here we go. And there's somebody who's just like, can't wait to see your great coverage. It's like, I hope it's good.
Yeah.
E3 also might suck, everyone, and that's not our fault.
Yep. Or it could be our fault.
Or yeah, what if
we'll see.
Brad, what if we mess up E3?
Yeah.
Alex AI, hi Brad and Jones. How are you today?
Pretty good.
You doing right?
Can't complain.
All right.
Yeah. I got a Vegeta energy drink keeping me going. It tastes pretty bad, but I bought it because it had Vegeta on it.
Nice. How long ago did you buy that? How long have you been waiting to crack that?
Oh, like 2 days ago.
Oh, okay. I just went to open the fridge or the showcase day, and you were like,
yeah, I'm like, today's the day.
It's time. I'm excited to toast you in a 5-hour energy when we get back in the studio, Brad.
Oh my god, I cannot
That's
wait.
Gonna be a special occasion.
Do we have some there still?
I got.
Did they expire? Oh, did you buy more?
This has got your name
nice.
on it, buddy. I'll bring it
Hell yeah.
I'm never without.
Yo, save one of those for Huber. He'll crack one too.
One of these days, 5 hours is going to sponsor our podcast. I'm going to talk about them for 45 minutes.
Yeah, we've dreamed about that.
I continued to clear up my backlog step by step, despite it rapidly increasing with all new releases like SMT Nocturne, Famicom Detective Club, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, etc. This time I tackled an oldie that was looking at me for quite a while. Now, it was finally time to beat the first Grandia. My first attempt was actually on the PS1 almost 2 decades ago. I remember liking the game, but stopped me because of some technical issues. I did not get far, but ever since then, this game had a safe spot in my backlog. A couple years ago, we got a remaster for both the first and the second Grandia, but by now there were too many other games, so it had to wait. Finally, as of May 20th, 2021, I have beaten Grandia 1. This remaster has a feature which I don't remember the original game having. You can play the entire game with Japanese VO and English text. That's cool. And this felt very nostalgic. Not only did I remember several voice actors from 90s animes, but art style and overall plot was very much of that time, which was thoroughly enjoyable. It was a very colorful game with likable characters as well as a great soundtrack. The opening theme alone just oozes adventure. Grandia ages very well thanks to the remaster, and I easily recommend it to anyone who likes JRPGs with turn-based combat, a somewhat whimsical adventure as a plot. Depending on how much you like the dungeons and side dungeons, this can be finished in 40 or 100 plus hours. That's it for now. I'll hopefully finish SMT3 until the next showcase. Hope all the allies have great E3 and June in general. Love, respect, Alex. P.S. I've decided to bug Brad as well with the recommendation to check out Shining Force 2 someday.
It's on my list of games. Nice. It's been on there for a while.
There's so many Ben Moore scripts I have read over the years that are like, so, this game can be extremely obtuse and beat the hell out of you. But it's really good. It's like, okay, all right. Okay. Boy, this combat system never gets easy, but God, it's worth it. Jason A. Sackle. Last month I played through Days Gone? It's a question mark. I really don't know if I would have played through it if it weren't for all the bugs in the game. Most of the characters were a bit one note and the writing was pretty dreadful. There are also times where the main guy lies and it makes zero sense as to why he would or why it is necessary. Nothing in the story was ever really a surprise because of how poorly it was put together. I'm not saying it was expertly put together, but there were a couple surprises in there. I'll do my best, as always, not to go into any specifics in case there are those who want to check it out that haven't yet. I really don't think the story or characters really mattered. I think that they had the idea of a horde of enemies chasing you and decided to make a game around that. That's how games are made. It isn't just put together well at all. For example, I went on a mission with another character. They said they'd meet me back at the camp. I go to said camp and go to a mission marker. A cutscene plays where I talk to that other character I was just on a mission with and someone else. I do that mission. I go back to the camp and that someone else asks if I'd seen that other character in reference to 2 missions ago where the main guy says that they would meet them back at the camp. The game just constantly tries to rip away the immersion. I remember that. I remember somebody asking for someone and they were in the shot. I was like, they're really standing behind you. So yes, I remember that. But there was a charm to it. There is a part where someone logs into something and the computer is like, it's been 751 days since you logged in. Why? Why was that necessary? The pause menu counts how many days gone, and it was in the 800s. Served no purpose. Anywho, we just need to talk about the bugs because the game is riddled with them. That's a bummer that still, it's on PC. I knew I was in for a ride when the enemy started defying physics. In a shootout, one enemy just jumped off the map. Another time after a final hit, and this sounds awesome, an enemy just launched into the air. Enemies constantly got stuck. In the sneaking missions, I had a time when none of the enemies spawned. I had to do a hard reset multiple times. I'd be driving around, the road just wouldn't exist. There was a cabin where none of the assets loaded, and if a cutscene took place, they'd just be standing on air with the map floating where I'm only guessing that a table should be. More forgiving are the standard bugs that come with open world games. Entering a small little cutscene and talking to an NPC in the world map, and an enemy pops in the area and starts screaming as the characters have some calm dialogue, even walking and swinging at my guy. That stuff has its charm. It's the glitches that require a hard reset that are really irksome. If I had one good thing to say about the game, whoops, already at 500 words. What do you think, Brad? Does the Days Gone frustration just roll off you because we enjoyed the game so much?
I liked the game. I didn't nearly encounter so many bugs as Jason did, that's for sure. I ran into some bugs, but nothing where I was like annoyed too much or anything like that, where I had to restart the game a lot or something. I just played normal open world, weird jank every now and then that I expect from every open world game. But my expectations for this game weren't very high or anything like that when I played it, and I just ended up liking it. It's probably because I liked... Well, we all bonded it over in a weird way. You, me, and Huber with Deacon and Boozer and all that stuff, so that probably helped too.
Yeah, I remember the frame rate being... But
yeah,
I remember later they being like, "Hey, they patched it," and I was like, "Did they?" And I booted it up. I'm like, "They didn't patch this shit." It's like all you got to do is just get a really good drift in. Just anytime you're just like, "Oh, let me just swing the camera around and turn." And it's like, oh, "Hold on, okay, there we go."
The PS5 version was pretty good though. I played some of it.
Yeah,
it was pretty nice.
But I'm conflicted. I feel bad because I don't want our community to suffer, but I want the glitches to happen to Jason. I want Jason to play the bad games. I want Jason to basically be like, "Oh, I played this game and I hate it. I hate it so much." But One Piece did this cool thing, and that was nice. One Piece got me through it. No mention of One Piece actually, but I already hit 500 words. Already done. All right, drawings. Yay. Drawings. From Chimnuan, hey Brad and Brandon, as you read this, I've already got my first vaccine shot. Thumbs up. Let's go through drawings.
Let's do it.
Up and shot. Only line work because I totally botched the coloring phase. Also, still a bad habit of drawing on top of the original. On my quest to draw better glasses because that is my fetish. So we will get to glasses in a second. But yeah, just kind of cool to see the sketch. Nice. She looks like she's happy with wearing glasses. Yeah. She digs it. She's got a good style going.
Color.
I like the lanyard. Nice fun detail. Still keeping up with the monthly Chun-Li drawing and to celebrate summer and how good weather has been lately. A bikini one. I'm sure that's the only reason. You put Chun-Li in a bikini. Well, it's summer. And yeah, so I mean just that because nobody wants that image any other time other than summer. It's the only time the June community showcase is the only time we will accept any character in a bikini being drawn. Almost done with June. Almost done with the June one too, so going well. Sadly, my bike's pedal broke, so I had to take it to the shop. Slowly going through Dragon's Dogma again and enjoying it, and I just started It Takes Two with a friend. Also watching Cobra Kai, better than I expected. Ready for next season. Let's have a great Summer Game Fest in E3 June. Woo! Until next time, love and respect, Terju Engi. That had like soccer energy. It's like, let's have a good game, everybody. Woo! High fives. Yes, and I love that we got not only one, but 3 different photographs. These are technically photographs, but I love that... Ooh. First of all, it's a nice view, but I love that. Like, I can't tell. Can you see what happened? I can't tell.
What's broken about the pedal?
Yeah.
I can't really tell. Oh wait, maybe one of the sides is broken. Yeah. It looks
there it is. It's a screw completely out of the. Yeah. I see what your problem is.
Unfortunate.
Sorry, Jim. I'll get that fixed. Love and respect, Terju Engi. Mo Grant. Hey, Brad and Jones.
Hey.
Bam. This is super cool. Always a fan of when we get to do stuff like this. Hold on, let me click on all of these so we can go through all of them in the right order. Yeah. Comic books. For my showcase post this month, I'm excited to finally announce that me and 2 of my best friends are writing a comic book with our first issue set to come out soon. We started working on the story years ago, and over quarantine we connected with this amazing artist via a Facebook group, and he has been crucial in getting the story off the ground. That's the thing. Facebook sucks so much. But then this stuff like this happens, and you're like, yeah. We gotta have comics, man. We should keep these people.
Yeah.
The artists gotta have a way to get together. What are they gonna use? LinkedIn? Not only is his art incredible, but since he has worked on several indie comics already, his insight into the process has been priceless. A link to his Twitter and personal website is below for anyone who wants to check out the rest of his work. The story revolves around a mysterious event that causes the world's heroes to disappear and be replaced with their arch nemesis, and it's up to a ragtag team of retired and new heroes to step up and save the day. I love that. Watchmen vibes. The below images are three sets. It's like Watchmen and Leftovers put together. The below images are 3 sets of in-progress images from 3 pages of the first issue. Each set contains the initial pencil drawing stage, the inking stage, and the colors flat stage. The pages are still missing the final coloring, shading, and lettering, but I like to think each set gives a good look into the behind-the-scenes process of making a comic book. The first 2 pages are part of the fight between the main heroine of the story, Mariska, aka Bubble Pop, and Razorwing, a giant villainous metal bird who has just randomly appeared in her apartment. Page 1 pencils, page 1 ink, and page 1 color. The next page shows another villain, Helikinesis, facing off against Charlie, a museum guard with a recently acquired bond with a magic sword. And there's a link to the artist's Twitter and the website in the original post. So again, we can do... I love that you can just see all of this stuff, just like the initial sketch, and then just... Razorwing tearing it up, and then... Ooh. See it finally come together. I love I like the panel 3 and panel 4, the notes at the top, too. It's fun to get into this thing. And then here's a brand new scene. Ooh. Kind of looks like some water bending she's doing there. And then...
It's her bubble pop stuff.
Expression, too. And it's fun, too. It's kind of reminds me of Sarah Knight, who has a video coming up. But Sarah Knight's been doing lots of drawing videos. And it's just interesting when Sarah Knight will, like, draw a face. And I'm like, nice face. And then adjust it. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, it's better. But, like, I know I've never been like, whoa, what's up with your face, bro? It's just like... I look at her doing that spell, and it's like, oh, that looked awesome. It's like, yeah, that's better. But that first one looked pretty great, too. And then, major Katara vibes coming from her. Katara and Korra vibes. And then finally, I love this, like the Huber baseball bat swipe at the bottom there.
Yep.
But again, just like all the action lines too, just so satisfying. All that stuff coming together. And then, bah.
Yeah, cool.
And earthbending too. Look at that. I love it. Love doing stuff like that. Congrats, Ian Alexander. Hello, Jones and Brad sneaking in right at the end of the deadline, but I didn't put up the guidelines. Forgot. So it's fine. This month I've drawn a copy of one of Kentaro Miura's beautiful manga panels of Guts. Bam.
Yep.
Even attempting to copy his line, just a simple yup from Brett. Even attempting to copy his line work and inking is a challenge. I can't believe how amazing Berserk looked, especially how his art evolved over time. Not only did Berserk inspire games like Dark Souls and Dragon's Dogma, I think it was an inspiration for Final Fantasy VII too. I can see it. A guy with a giant sword and tragic backstory who fights against those in power. We later discover in a flashback that he was once betrayed by a man he looked up to, a silver-haired swordsman who sacrificed everything for power. I will miss this artist and his work greatly. Love and respect, Ian at Alexander_arts.
Yeah, a true legend that inspired a ton of people out there, a ton.
And I like this piece of artwork because it was nice seeing the comics, but there's so much going on one page, and this, I'm not a designer by any means, so the layout of the community showcase, has its is not perfect, but I like just focusing on the face here, so we can really, really get into the detail on this one.
Yeah,
because like you were saying, those lines.
Yeah, his lines are crazy.
Those lines are sharp. All he's got to do is just grab somebody and just slam him on the top of his head. Impale them. Instant death. Photographs. From Nathan Cotteroli. Hello, gentlemen. I've always been a sucker for a startling pair of eyes, and this guy's got some of the coolest of them all. I think this is my biggest project yet. 32 colors, 14,300 beads.
Whoa.
Who's that?
I don't know. I can't tell from here.
You can't tell from here? What, are we too close to it? I just see
purple. Yeah.
Are you too close to the beads?
Yeah.
You want to back out? Let's back out.
Yep.
Oh. Coming into focus. Who could that be? Who could it be, Brad?
I still don't know who it could be. Can't tell.
Oh,
these eyes.
Oh, these eyes. They're kind of they're cat-like. They're kind of feral.
Yeah, is it Geralt, I guess? Then yeah. Yeah. The pink really threw me off, but makes sense.
When you get out. Again, these all need to be like at the end of the hallway, but Nathan Cotaroli has been on top of this. We got Dr. Mario. We got the Cyberpunk logo. These have been Nathan. These have been really
these
fun.
are really
I really
good.
enjoy these every month, and they're so different compared to the stuff that people normally do. But
Damn.
what a journey to go through.
Yeah, wow.
Sorry to egg you on. It's just too much fun. It's just like, yellow beads. What could it be? Riddle me this, Batman. Samuel Rosman. Aloha, Brandon and Brad. I hope the month of June is treating you well so far. I'm going to keep this month short and sweet. I was unable to complete what I originally planned to do. I was editing another slideshow video, finishing up my trip to Disney World in 2014. But with being fully vaccinated now, I've had an avalanche of errands to run since I can leave the house. I'll leave the boring details out, but I did manage to visit Don Quixote after a years-plus long break and stock up on Japanese goodies again. Is that a shop?
Don Quixote, yeah. During Yakuza games and stuff.
Oh, nice. Just in time for E3, too. Also went back to the theater again to watch a couple movies. Watching stuff at home is convenient, but there's nothing like the big screen experience. Also, with E3 looming, what's your current White Whale project? For me, and this is, it's tough because I'm playing Mass Effect right now, but I would play the hell out of this, man. For me, it is the rumored KOTOR remake that's been talked about. In recent years, there's a bunch of cease and desist letters that went out to fan-made remake mods that were in development. Usually these fall under fair use since you need the original game to use them, but this type of lockdown is highly suspect. The only tangible thing I'm sharing this month is the 2 Lego sets I bought for May 4th to get the promo this year. And this, can we just please, these both fit on the same screen at the same time. So Brad, can we just, soak those up?
Ooh. Yeah, Scout Trooper and TIE
as
Fighter
always,
pilot,
mahalo nui loa for everything you do in E3 hype. Love and respect, Samuel Rosman at Namzor on Twitter. P.S. If you're interested in what the Aperion mod looks like prior to its cancellation, a video link is in the original post on Patreon. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of extra bonuses that are being linked there, so it's always fun to go through the comments and revisit a lot of these things, see them in the highest resolution possible. We are streaming all this and butchering it. Man, I would play KOTOR so much. I would respect it, too, if it was just called Knights of the Old Republic, and they didn't do a Knights 1 or 2 thing. They just put it all together.
Well,
they just made one big umbrella thing.
I mean, those games aren't canon anymore, so they could literally just... Yeah, it's all dead. They could just retell a lot of it, though, anyways.
It's just like Heir to the Empire, man. There's just a legend. You just go, just makes it more interesting. It's like Christmas special, It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I love both of these. I love how vertical they are and just enjoying these. Like they're so cool.
Yeah, those are great.
Thank you for those. Thank you for just bringing some Star Wars in while I'm hanging out with my friend Brad Ellis. We can do Star Wars just for a second. How about this, Brad? What do you describe the emotions? Hi, Brad and Brandon. Up to my pledge just to share this, which is a wall art project I've just finished earlier tonight. I present The Wall of Chrono. These are the framed covers to one of my most prized possessions, the Chrono Trigger vinyl soundtrack box set. As a little Easter egg, I placed these in formulation to slightly emulate the Epoch ship. Epoch?
Yeah, I think Epoch, Epic. I think Blood called it Epic one time. I guess it's Epoch. That's how I said it.
Planning and placing all the hanging hooks to achieve this was a huge time sink that took me hours, but I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. Also, these shots were taken at night under my ceiling lights, which I think looks good, but seeing these in the daytime with natural light hitting the gold foil lettering and gold frames is quite stunning. I mean, what? I'm Ryan. I was stopping you from sending those pictures in, too. What's the... Yikes. Post was up for a couple weeks. Could have taken a couple. Collecting video game soundtracks, and yes, actually listening to them, has been one of my biggest hobbies over the past 6 years. If any community member likes what they see and might be interested in video game vinyl, I suggest starting out by seeking out the Facebook group. Again, Facebook bringing us closer to the things that we love. Damn it. Video Game Vinyl Collectors is the Facebook group you want to look for. They are great, helpful, welcoming community, and they will occasionally host giveaway contests, which are always fun. Yeah, and I love the background is so solid, too.
Yeah. Very classy.
Very pretty. Yes, good art. One of these days, I will go back and replay that game. I need a game to finish
it's
it.
Real good.
I did play through all of it.
I'm telling you, you don't need it, Jones. Nowadays, you'll be fine.
I was a wee lad. I'm probably just better. I'm probably just better at RPGs. Like.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine.
I was like spending items I didn't need. Screenshots. This month of screenshots rules. This is clearly the dominating winning category this year. Some really good screenshot stuff. Alexander Zurianov coming in with some screenshots and giving me the honor of going through the backstory of Alexander's 5th Cyberpunk 2077 playthrough character. You ready?
Whoa.
Here's some backstory I've developed.
Yeah.
I love this. Boom. It's a female character too, so I'm going to butcher this, but do the best I can. Wait, let me open all these images so I can scroll through them. Tell a story.
Cyberpunk.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like Cyberpunk. I beat Cyberpunk. It definitely had a lot of problems when I played it, but I'm glad I played it.
Not as many as Days Gone on PC.
But if you haven't played it at this point, I'd say just wait till the great patch comes out or whatever.
I'm gonna get in the character and do my best. You ready, Brad?
Mm-hmm.
Name's V. I'm a solo. My father caught a stray bullet when I was 6. My mother was hit by a car when I was 9. Growing up on the street, I quickly learned my way around firearms, which saved my life more than once. One night when I was 15, I tried to rob some drunk cop and got hit by a gang who's had the same idea. When I zeroed him, the dumb corp, When I zeroed him, the dumb corp thought that I came to save him and offered me to do it full time. Becoming a suit seemed better than what I had, so I said yes. For the next 11 years, I was doing dirty work for him and enjoyed benefits that came with it. Then he went against the wrong people, and I lost my job, my home, and all my eddies. At least they weren't interested in sending a team to off me, and I'm not interested in giving them a reason to reconsider by trying to get it all back. If anything, I've learned that it's better to just be another name in a fixer's phone book than to be just another name in Night City's columbarium. Is that the morgue?
I don't know.
I grew up here. That room with the light on the second floor was ours. It wasn't bad, but it was a place from a different time, and I'd rather keep that younger me in the past. I love this. View from my place when I was a corp. Street noise was nearly unbearable, but that huge tree almost within arm's reach made it all worth it. This quickly became my favorite place to eat on my downtime. Food isn't half bad. There's always an empty table and owner who doesn't mind turning off TVs when I want to dine in quiet. Once I had to kill some guy. I found him in the docks, standing on the pier with his input like the rest, or this world doesn't exist, like the rest, pretending this world doesn't exist. Easy target, but I couldn't pull the trigger. Still not sure why. I had to hire another merc to do the job. I was looking for secluded spots to dump hot bodies when I came here, but when I saw the view, I decided to keep this place for myself. Each time Night City gets under my skin, I escape here. Wait, is that yeah. This part of the city I always try to avoid. Nasty things happen with me here, and I still get the creeps when I get near. Once I had to guard a VIP in this house. Seemed simple enough until his convoy got delayed. We were running low on food, and I couldn't call anyone because his presence was extremely secretive. Luckily, our neighbor agreed to buy us some snacks, and did exactly what he promised. I still send him holiday presents as a thank you. But enough talking. A new day begins in Night City, and I've got a gig to do.
Dig
Thank
it
you for that, Cyrianov. That was
awesome.
awesome.
RP. 5th character, wow.
Yeah. It's interesting. I saw a funny meme where people were talking about playing Mass Effect for like the 9th time and making the exact same decision through the entire playthrough. You know, it's just like, I can't. It's like, I want to try new things. Is the whole point, you know, potentially of replaying stuff. Jeremy Waltman, who I will check in with once the stream is over, says, hello, allies. The Weatherworn demo featuring main characters Pap and Pup is heading to Steamfest 2021. The demo will include the animated opening cutscene, a sample quest, and the first map. Yay, demos. For those new to the game, Weatherworn is an all-ages adventure about the young pup and their grandfather Pap stranded on a dangerous world. It's a story-driven retro RPG with a modern pace about the seasons of life. Here's new key art and wallpapers and in-game screenshots. Love and respect, Jeremy. Didn't have access to the drive on Google Drive. I clicked on it and it said didn't have access. So I messaged Jeremy on Patreon. Have yet to double check that. I was doing Cup of Jones and sleeping. Maybe I will grab that before we're done. And I know that we have at least one other post back at there. But if you are familiar with the showcase, you should be familiar with Weatherworn. And you can go check that out. Again, Weatherworn, regular spelling, all one word. Definitely excited to see. Curious to check that out. It's neat. It has a mix of kind of like heavy metal. Like, what was the top-down thing? Blood reviewed it, where you were like batting things around in like a dungeon. It was all about. It was kind of like pinball. You were like a little guy and spinning around.
Creature in the Well, or something like that.
You know that kind of really stark 4-color tone kind of art style. This is a combination of that and just kind of old school RPGs. So it's like a neat style.
Cool.
Yeah, very reminds me a little bit of what's that? There's the RPG company who made the game with this. Everything was in the snow and there was a lot of piano.
This company Tokyo RPG Factory.
Yeah, they show up with like a really cool old school RPG. It's kind of that vibe a little bit.
is the game.
Has a little bit of that vibes as well. I'm saying all of this because I don't have these wonderful new key art wallpapers and in-game screenshots to show you. Maybe I will sneak them in before the showcase is over. From Asbo Zapruder, though, we are going back to Poppleton. Good afternoon, gentlemen. June is busting out all over. I hope you are both doing well. It's a big week, and I'm looking forward to sharing all the E3 excitement with you and chat. That's not to say May wasn't exciting. It was a particularly thrilling month on the island of Poppleton. Let me explain. It all began when this year's soccer season kicked off. Unfortunately, our team, the Honeybees, wasn't doing very well. Halfway through the season, we lost to the Scorpions, leaving us with an overall record of 0 wins and 7 losses.
Ouch.
Brad, did you play a lot of sports when you were a kid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been on teams like that.
Did any of them stand out? Was there any what you're like, oh, I played them all, but it was really soccer was the big deal?
Hockey was what I played the most. Well, roller hockey in Southern California, you know. Playing ice hockey was a pain in the ass here, but played many years of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bought rollerblades with my own money. I saved up for a really long time, Brad. Put them on. Rolled out of my driveway, went up the neighbor's driveway, fell on my cheek, opened up my face, and had 11 stitches.
Oh, God, on your face,
right
dude.
Here, right here below the chin. It just like,
oh, man,
like,
that's brutal.
Like, get all sewn back up. Still went back on the rollerblades a couple times, but didn't enjoy him as much. Didn't enjoy him how I had planned.
Remember when people would rollerblade? It's like, growing up, everyone rollerbladed.
It's fun to see a 90s movie and see like a rollerblader go by.
Yeah, like everyone was doing it now, and just no one does.
Yep. There are like roller derbies and stuff. There's still places you can go.
Yeah.
This was apparently the final straw for Frobert. After the game, he informed us that he had received an offer to join the Scorpions, and he was taking it mid-season? Brutal.
Wow.
While I was still reeling from the news and wondering who on earth would want to join a team like ours, I was approached by our equipment manager, Zucker. He said he'd always wanted to join the team but was too afraid to ask, left with no other options. I said yes. Brutal. Hope Zucker doesn't see this. However, during our next match, Zucker kept running out of breath halfway down the field, and we lost to the Ladybugs. Nice reference. During our next match, shout out to Jonathan Brandis, late great. During our next match, Boomer suggested Zucker take over as the goalie, and to everyone's surprise, he turned out to be a natural, just like Ron Weasley. We finally got our first win against the Queen Alexandria's Birdwings. We managed to win our next 6 matches, and earn a place in the playoffs. Whew. But this and every sports film is where everything goes wrong. 6, naturally, our first opponents were the Scorpions. It was a tough game, but we managed to keep up. With the score tied, it all came down to the penalty kick. But soccer came through! Of course, the Scorpions defeated us in the other 2 games in the series and ended up at this year's champions, but it was still an amazing season.
That's roleplay.
And we already were preparing for next year. Anyway, that was May. I'm sure June will be much calmer. Until then, Asbo Zapruder, a.k.a. Screaming Argonaut. Yeah, it was always a bummer to lose like a sports season, but the party at the end always made everyone worth it.
Pizza.
We got 4 screenshots and some updates from Next Gen Half. Thank you so much, because this is a game I want to hear everybody's stories in. Hey, guys, while I did continue the campaign of the immortal Viking Hardiknud in Crusader Kings 3, nothing really interesting happened. But while experimenting with the other mods, a new interesting Norse character rose to power. His name, Otter Orn. Located in modern-day Italy, he started as a Catholic Norse duke in the Holy Roman Empire. During his rise to power, he decided to take the papacy from the Pope, making the capital of his land Rome. Then he proceeded... I just love his move over, strolling in, taking the papacy. Mm-hmm. Then he proceeded to create his own version of Christianity, a much better Christianity called Norse Christianity. Before splitting from the Holy Roman Empire, he took the holy city of Cologne, and then, which is where Gamescom used to be, is sometimes, and then named himself the Pope of Norse Christianity. While all this was going on, he became one of 12 immortals to walk the earth.
Immortals?
I didn't know we got that far. I didn't know this game took. I'm not. He didn't prompt me as to where the images change, so I'll just move on to the next one. Wow. After kidnappings, executions, and duels to the death, he ended up the last immortal, giving him a right to invade any nearby kingdom once every 10 years. He used his first invasion. It's like a get out of jail free card. It's like a fast pass.
Jail free card, yeah.
It's like a fast pass at Disneyland.
One every 10 years.
He used his first invasion to invade the Byzantine Empire and take the rest of Italy for himself, splitting from the Holy Roman Empire and forming the Empire of Italia. While he did this, he took a few key cities from the Byzantines as well. They should be playing this in school. You know?
Sure,
to create discussions of like how this could possibly go. And then you could talk about the difference between history and stuff. Well, I just imagine like, and then I took the Byzantine Empire after many kidnappings and executions. Taking them allowed him to mend the great schism between Catholicism and Orthodox Christianity, insisting that his Norse Christianity is the one true religion. Included are screenshots of what happened in the world before and after he did this. Modded Crusader Kings 3 is very fun to play, and you should give it a shot. Love and respect, Next Gen Half. I will not give it a shot, Next Gen Half. This looks
always
so
a game I've
crazy
been curious about, but very intimidating.
Yeah. The Great Schism mended. It's so cool. I love it. Norse Christianity. I'm sure that went over well. That's an expansion to Valhalla. That'll be very interesting. Undercover Sheikah. What do you say we just enjoy the beauty of Breath of the Wild for a little bit, Brad? What do you say? What do you say we just kick back and just appreciate what a gosh darn beautiful game this is? This game, in a lot of ways, is like one of those fine wine games where like it just gets better and better. Every time I like think back in the game or see somebody doing some new thing, there's still like GIFs and videos going up on social media where like that person did what? And it's like, and they didn't break the game, they just, with the mechanics, they just figured it out. Hi, Brandon Jones, and Undercover Sheikah, name I'm not familiar with the showcase. So showing up with the love for Zelda and Breath of the Wild. A few months ago, I replayed Breath of the Wild to refresh my memory in preparation for the next Zelda trailer at E3. Although I still enjoyed the game overall, problems, such as the short, repetitive divine beasts and low enemy variety, were definitely more noticeable the second time around, so I hope these problems will be addressed in the sequel. Anyways, here's some screenshots I took during my last playthrough. Enjoy. Love and respect, Undercover Sheikah.
Very pleasant.
Yeah. I'm a fan of like knee-high water in open world games. It's fun to just kind of like run
always
around.
Fun.
One of my favorite. Sorry, I'm going to talk about Ghost Recon just for 2 seconds. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, the first open world game that they made. One of the most satisfying open world zones to like bump into. In the top left hand, if you still own Breakpoint and you stopped playing it, just load it up and get in a helicopter and fly as far northwest as you can possibly go. It's just white. It's literally just sand flats. For like miles.
That's cool.
And so when you're out in the middle of it, it's like Burning Man. You're just like, what? You can't see anything. It's just, it's like a car commercial. It's pretty fun. It's a fun zone. Very different from stuff I play in open world games. But this kind of reminds me of it. Just like when you get out into the ocean, just looking at the horizon. And I like obviously looking at the different shield and weapon combos, of course. Oh, that game.
Yep.
Because you like remember, it's like, I remember they had, like compromised visuals on the Switch to make it all run well. And then you look at this and it's like, I don't know. That game is...
It's a great art style.
If I'm immersed, I'll accept a lot of weird performance things. Just as if I believe that I'm there. God, look at that game. Switch Pro, man. You ready?
Yeah, I've been ready for years.
Holy cow. I like the castle just peeking out in the background. I spent so much time in that castle. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
And then it would be the time do I want to fight Ganon? I'd be like, no. And I would go outside, sell all those weapons, make a bunch of new recipes, and then just go right back in. That's a really good game. I feel bad. I feel bad that year with Ben liking Persona 5 as much as he did. I was like, I'm sorry, Ben. This game is just,
that's okay. I was so torn on that.
This game is just out of control.
Yeah. It was a brutal year. For voting. Let's do. I'm putting this into me. I should have my own category of just something for voiceover specifically. But we're just gonna lump it into music because we got some voiceover from Eric Jackson. Previously, the juggling, performer extraordinaire, the Easy Allies Community Showcase is now switching into voiceover. I think it's the third or fourth month that Eric Jackson has submitted something in voiceover, and I very much enjoy it. But Jesse Blue is jumping in first. Hello, Jones and Brad. Greetings from the Midwest. Well, this past weekend... Hi. This past weekend marked another year around the sun for me, and with the bright skies and warmer weather here, the hope and hype for returning to the studio
is electric. I have been infused with the motivation to continue work on my new storybook series using books from Project Gutenberg and recording audiobook versions for YouTube and SoundCloud. I have a portion of the audio file ready and be working to finish it. I will add a very simple video image on the book cover and some storybook background music to the beginning and end of each chapter. My goal is to get the files to be around 15-20 minutes long, and depending on the book, cover a chapter or two each file. I'll be finishing up the first file this month and uploading it as soon as I'm done. I'll make sure to share the link publicly once it's posted. Thank you all for the support over the past couple years, and especially through the past year. I couldn't have gotten this far without you. Love and respect to all the allies. Lots of hugs, too. Hugs is capitalized. Regarding my submissions, since I'm starting with the book I already featured on a previous showcase, rather than repeating, I'm picking up a little later in the story. When we last left our heroine, Alice had fallen down a deep hole while chasing a white rabbit. I bring you the continuation of Alice in Wonderland, written by Lewis Carroll and performed by Jesse Blue.
Alice was not a bit hurt, and she jumped up onto her feet in a moment. She looked up, but it was all dark overhead. Before her was another long passageway, and the white rabbit was still in sight, hurrying down it. There was not a moment to be lost. Away went Alice like the wind, and she was just in time to hear it say as it turned a corner,
"Oh, my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting!"
She was close behind it when she turned the corner, but the rabbit was no longer to be seen. She found herself in a long, low hall, which was lit up by a row of lamps hanging from the roof. There were doors all around the hall, but they were all locked. And when Alice had been all the way down one side and up the other trying every door, she walked sadly down the middle, wondering how she was ever to get out again. Suddenly she came upon a little three-legged table, all made of solid glass. There was nothing on it except a tiny golden key, and Alice's first thought was that it might belong to one of the doors of the hall. But alas, either the locks were too large or the key was too small, but at any rate it would not open any of them. However, on the second time around, she came upon a low curtain she had not noticed before, and behind it was a little door about 15 inches high. She tried the little golden key in the lock, and to her great delight it fitted. Alice opened the door and found that it led into a small passage not much larger than a rat hole. She knelt down and looked along the passage into the loveliest garden you ever saw. How she longed to get out of that dark hall and wander about among those beds of bright flowers and those cool fountains, but she could not even get her head through the doorway.
"And if even my head won't go through," thought poor Alice, "it would be of very little use without my shoulders. Oh, how I wish I could shut up like a telescope. I think I could if only I knew how to begin." For you see, so many out-of-the-way things had happened lately that Alice had begun to think that very few things indeed were really impossible.
It's
Very
fun
good,
doing
yeah.
British voices for narration because they can be so different if you are not British from your normal narrating voice.
Right.
That was really fun. I loved Alice and I loved the rabbit. Alice on the Brain. We just we have a Small World boat that is one of Milo's boat toys, and Alice is on there among other characters. Okay. And so he knows down, down, down wherever he takes Alice. Down, down,
down, down. Yep.
From Eric Jackson, hey Brandon and Brad, congrats on the impending return to the studio. There's a terrific meme that states, being an adult is just saying, after this week, everything will calm down until you die. And I've very much been feeling that way lately. Little sleep and overworking myself in all aspects of my life. I almost didn't post this month, but after 5.5 hours of constantly talking for my D&D game that night before the showcase, I thought, well, why not? And hastily threw together another installment in the ongoing adventures of my players in my campaign. My voice is a little shot as a result. Wait till you hear my voiceover for Ratchet. It was after doing puppets all day. I was like,
oh man.
And it's super cheerful and really long. It was a very long script. I was like, dude, Huber, you're killing me. It took me over 20 minutes to read that.
Oh my god. How many words was it? Do you know?
I don't know. It was long.
Oh my god.
I think the initial edits could probably be around 8 minutes for the review. So I'm not going to do any funny montages for this edit. I'm
right.
Just like, after this is done, I'm going to put one shot for the entire review. I'm happy enough with the result. Hope you all enjoy it. Long live Nicator. Necator. It was Necator, right?
Nicator.
Nicator. That's right.
That's how you say it.
Nicator.
It's a complex name.
Brad's first TTE character. I also want to plug the new Bo Burnham special on Netflix, Inside. It's edgy, funny, and powerful, and often uncomfortable. Oh,
I've heard a lot about this.
Bo Burnham. I know Bo Burnham, but I haven't watched a lot of his stuff. Forces an inward look during COVID life and showcases a focused look at mental health, but I love it so much. Worth a watch, but certainly not for everyone. Stay safe, love each other, trans rights are human rights, love and respect. Eric Jackson, a.k.a. Jax on Deck in Twitch chat. This is going to do a repeat for a second before we get going, because that's just the setup. This is literally in real time replaying it from SoundCloud. Here we go.
When last we ventured with the heroes of Saga, much had transpired. In the wake of their victory against the Priest of Blight, a tortured being attempting to poison the world, and the removal of the Black Thorn of Gulthias, the Forest of the Scourge fell with the Nightfang Spire. Returning over many days, first to the village of Briar Glen, they spoke with standing matron Iphidelia, and were informed that for the time being, the Blight had lost its foothold in the world of Elantris. Traveling further, the party met with Tyrael and learned a bit about the nature of what had transpired, and were granted an audience with the Great Cedar himself, Aphosa. A primeval elemental soul born in the wake of the First Age, Aphosa granted them some insight, both into the destructive nature of the Black Thorn they now carry, but also insight into themselves. When the party had asked all their questions, they were given several boons, chief among them being the Amber Heart, a golden gemstone infused with the power of 100 years of sunlight. The party took their leave and eventually made their way back to the town of Archdale, where they met with a very sleep-deprived Lord Avington, and a new figure, that of Father Sebastian Highfellow, a legendary cleric of the Church of the Everstar and head of the temple in Cassoria. With the help of the Amber Heart, Father Sebastian was able to summon a planar ally, which was able to retrieve what was discovered to be the lifeless body of Aya, the Naiad of Rimrock Cove, the very reason for our hero's journey to the Great Cedar well over a month and a half prior.
Shout out to DMs.
Though distraught, the bard of our party was not so quick to let her life pass, and would declare that her story is not over yet. But lo, even with the power of the Amber Heart and its resurrection abilities, her life was not returned to her. However, with the help of Father Sebastian, a ritual to return her to life was initiated, and with the contributions of our heroes, proved successful. From here, our heroes would travel back to the great city of Cassoria before setting off on yet another adventure, this one taking them across the plains of Veneto and deep into the Daggerlad marshes, towards the western great city of Darnek.
Yes. That stuff is helpful. There were so many times when I would do D&D campaigns that I would come back after a month and a half and be like, what the hell were we doing? Like, where are we?
Yep.
If you recall, you're in this library. I'm like, I don't recall at all. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Don't remember that. Because you're not looking at it. It's one thing if you like see a TV show and you're like, oh, right. It's another thing. Like, it's all in my head. So it's like, oh, wait, I got to rebuild everything. There we go. Also, I don't know if you own this album, one of my favorite gaming albums, just the all of the taverns from Warcraft.
I don't have the album, but that is real good.
That is just such a jolly listen. That's just a really good white noise to have in the background. Doing just about anything. Eric Jackson also slayed that. That was really fun to listen to.
Yeah, great job.
Kieran Little was going to play some tunes for us. There we are. There you are, Kieran. Hey, Brandon and Brad, I'll keep this post short because I feel a little guilty for having been involved in 2 showcase submissions last month that both went over the time limit. Forgive me. So I'll just say this one's for Brad in tribute to both his, I think, and my for sure favorite game of all time, Final Fantasy VII. Genova Medley, love and respect. P.S. Looking forward to Integrate. something about making tactical decisions to meddle. There's something about it.
Oh, yeah. With a Sephiroth, yeah. It's good. True, he's not.
I'll decide when I
awesome.
am and am not the bad guy. Thank you very much.
That was sick.
Sometimes
Thank you
it helps.
for that.
Oh, yeah. Karen, when are you touring, man? Seriously, like this is getting silly at this point. Every month,
we should hire him to be our bard at the office and just play sometimes for us. Throw him a coin.
Kieran, I wonder if you know who William Cat is. I never thought about this. You have major William Cat vibes, the greatest American hero, aka the original Pippin on Broadway. You had your beautiful locks. You just had this curly hair that just didn't quit. Yeah, give him that Google search. William Cat, Katt. Good guy. Videos. Michelle Jackson kicking it off. Some fun drawing and game updates. Hello, allies. This month was a little hectic with my changing job, so no game update. Instead, made a video documenting one of my favorite hobbies, Lolita fashion. Disclaimer, Lolita fashion has nothing to do with the book of the said name. It's a Japanese street style based in Victorian and Rococo, R-O-C-O-C-O, Rococo fashion, and the name is an unfortunate coincidence. A few days ago, I celebrated Summer International Lolita Day with my local community, which hosted an ILD tea party. Second disclaimer, I'm fully vaccinated. Nice. Yeah, fascinating. Let's dive in.
So it's about 5 days out from the tea party right now, which means today I'm going to be putting together a test coordinate and sort of workshopping my outfit for the tea party. The theme is going to be Alice in Wonderland, so I've decided that the main piece that would suit it best is this JSK from Metamorphose Tomes de Fille. It's the, what is it? The 2020 re-release of Snowy Rabbit in the
I was gonna say, man, come on.
colorway.
Get your taste right.
It's blue and it has rabbits on it, so I figure I can do like a white rabbit theme coordinate with it. Here I have all of the different components of the coordinate I'm going to be wearing laid out so that I can, do a little preview. Starting with the main piece I mentioned, it's a JSK, so I have to wear a blouse underneath. Of all my white blouses, this one is the most fancy, and the white of it actually matches the white of the dress best. Then over here, we have the two headpieces I'm going to be wearing. Because the bow is super heavy, I have to anchor it to something. Then the two components of the back bow for this. Then some Rochelle knee socks for my leg wear. Some jewelry. Still deciding between these two pairs of earrings. And then rings and a necklace. Just your standard issue tea party shoes. It looks white on camera, but it's actually Saks.
I see a little blue, yeah.
Some wrist cuffs because my blouse doesn't cover my wrists. Still sort of deciding which of these would suit it better. And lastly, petticoat.
I'll go with the white.
The poopiest I own, so it's the tea party petticoat.
The build up. My goodness, Brad, we're at an event.
I know. Fancy.
We're finally getting out. I've missed this. all that work. 108. Nothing is fun doing it 108. Whoa.
Huh.
Oh, I thought the wing came with it. I chuckled earlier during the video for some reason, Brad. When you were going through all of the different articles in the bed, I got like the commando gif of him just like putting on the war paints and going into the shotgun with the rifle. Just picture you with like the bows and like all the, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I had to change my skirt. New skirt. Not messing around. From Sarah Knight, hey Brad and Jones, hope you're doing well. So instead of putting my message in the video itself and not risk getting skipped entirely by Jones, deep cut. You had to be here last month. Yeah.
Ouch.
She had a small comment and I just breezed right past it.
Oh.
You don't know what you got till it's gone. A couple months back, I was tagged on Twitter by Mishimagius to create 2 original arts and 2 fan arts. So I decided to draw my 2 characters for my webcomic, Summer Days, nice plug, and then made one of them a promo art for last month's showcase. Doing the same thing this time with my character, because why not? Hope you guys are staying safe. Can't wait to see until you are all back in the studio. Much love and respect, Sarah Knight.
Flipping it and stuff.
I just had the thought, I wish I was more creative, and then realized I have about 40 puppets next to me.
I was
in
gonna
my
say,
office.
are you doing a puppet show? You
good.
maniac. Oh, I wish I was more creative.
Yeah.
All right, calm down, Jim Henson.
Yeah, I gotta express. Brad, I need to express myself.
Yeah.
How do I express myself? I love when all the colors come together, Sarah. It's really cool. Can't wait to read this comic too.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing about drawing too, Brad, is I'm just like, and done. Wait, oh, no shadows. Okay, and done.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no.
Yep.
Any more yes, that looks better. Yes, and
I
finish.
am
Wait.
no artist, that's for sure.
This part I can do. The erasing things between other lines. I can do this.
Yeah.
Sarah, if you're ever overworked, you can hand this part off to me. This is great.
That's why we're critics, Jones. We're not artists.
I can fill in Photoshop really easily. I can click in that empty space, make a color appear there, lickety split. Nice titles too. Mission
Cool.
Magius
Yeah.
also had pretty dynamite titles. Nice. I like the music too. Went on an adventure.
Great stuff.
easily the most intimidated I've been by RF Switch. Armed this month. Greetings, Jones and Brad. The second COVID dose hit me like a few dozen trains, and I've been waking up at 6 a.m. for no reason while I've been recovering. I like the casualness with which all of because I got the Johnson & Johnson way back, and so it was neat seeing all of the different allies one by one strolling in, being like, second shot tomorrow. We got our stream tomorrow night. You know, I'll be around for that if I'm like not, and then just like not even on Slack, just out.
I got nailed this day after my second shot for like half the day. So.
And of course, Isla was like,
yeah,
nothing.
Yeah,
no problems.
Kristen was completely fine. I was like, okay.
Anyways, here's another video about me explaining my inspirations with Themis the Cat Girl. Last time Brad was on, he didn't seem terribly interested in my series. Oh, shots!
Whoa.
Which is fine.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Jump. I want you out of that chair, Brad. But there was something in that story that may have caught your interest or attention. Is what I'm going to talk about today. Okay, let's dive in and talk about the Swordsman and the Alchemist. Love and respect. RF Switch. PSO and Bingus Bongus. My legal name changed happened. PPS. I only have 5 chapters left to write before book 1. A Cat Named Justice is complete. After that, I'll start writing book 2. Anime Coastal Chaos. Anime Coastal Chaos is the name.
Coastal Chaos.
Anime Coastal Chaos. Animals might be involved, but take it away.
Derek von Waffen. Renowned swordsman, sharpshooter, and blacksmith. His family had been doing so since the Middle Ages. 1,000 years of German swordmasters and weaponsmiths, defending the weak and the helpless. One of Derek's best friends is Samantha Garrett, a beautiful African-American woman.
I cannot boost it more, sorry.
Skilled with a chemistry kit and a bass guitar as she is, with a pair of hard-knuckle gloves. You'd think these two diametrically opposed people would be complete opposites. Not true. They have quite a bit in common. Most notably, they have one thing in common with Hugh, Bradley Ellis, and that is that they're both left-handed.
Shout out.
I had a friend who used to be a weapon collector. Well, he is still one. And he's still left-handed. We don't talk anymore. But the other influences include, obviously, The Legend of Zelda. What, do you think after last month I wasn't going to add Link to this little adventure? Not to mention that Derek's fighting style is rather similar to Ike from Fire Emblem. As well as a certain Masamune-wielding sociopath destroying the entire planet with meteor and Genova cells. But we're not here to talk about Sephiroth.
We have covered Sephiroth in the
Meanwhile, Samantha Garrett, being the complete opposite girl she is, was inspired, of course, by mixed martial artists. Not to mention musicians. And of course, she was inspired by people like Jimi Hendrix and Paul McCartney, both left-handed themselves.
Oh.
As well as Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead.
Nice. Yeah, Lemmy.
Oh, and Sam also has a lot of influence from other things. Mostly Batman the Animated Series. She loves her tech. As well as a lot of beat-em-up games like River City Ransom, Double Dragon 2, and Final Fight, one of my favorites.
Hell yeah, Super Nintendo hype.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, sorry about the abrupt cut. Things got a little weird at the end of that take. Anyways, just gonna finish up by saying I am going to rewrite the short stories so you can see just how amazing Sam and Derek are with a bit better writing experience now that I've done it enough times. That said, love and respect.
Good to see you. Nice check in, and grats you getting near the end zone of that book. That's gotta feel good.
Yeah.
Happy gaming. What's up, Jones and Brad? Happy back in the office soon, and especially happy E3. This was exciting for months for this was an exciting month for us. My girlfriend and I are now fully vaccinated. We took a day this last week to go shopping for books and retro games. I'd completely forgotten just how much riding on a bus gives me intense anxiety even before COVID. But now going and doing it again, it was especially nerve-wracking. Surprisingly, the shopping wasn't actually as difficult to dive back into as I was anticipating. It was a good outing, though, even if the retro shop was mostly liquidated, and we were looking forward to hopping over to the Alamo Draft House next weekend to watch In the Heights. In all honesty, I haven't done as much gaming the last month as I typically do. I've been showing my girlfriend the Uncharted games recently, and we just started on the 3rd. I've been catching up on shows and movies this month, though. If you're looking for a good documentary, I highly recommend Not for Resale. It's about local and retro video game shops. It hits very close to home as a retro and physical game collector, with talks about the industry going towards a digital future. Despite how melancholic it is, I immediately texted my brother after it was done to talk about opening one ourselves someday. I know I promised to bring a review of Sakuna for this month's showcase. Yeah! But the month got away from me. I still plan on finishing it, but it may take a little bit more time, as this month is going to begin a course as this month I'm going to begin a course to become certified to teach kids ESL classes. My goal is to be able to someday travel and teach and eventually live abroad in Japan or Korea. Beyond that, though, it's also a unique opportunity to choose my own hours working from home, which would blend really nicely with my side video production and podcasting if it all goes smoothly. That aside, this month I've got a review of ActRaiser on Super Nintendo for you.
Oh.
It's one of my favorites growing up. I apologize for the quality of the vocal track. My microphone's cord or port is going out and created a lot of popping. Been there. I've been looking at upgrading and maybe an Audio-Technica AT2020 model. If you have any recommendations on USB microphones, though, let me know. Hope everyone enjoys the review. As always, I love constructive criticism. If you'd like to watch my other reviews, feel free to hit up patreon.com/happygaming to watch them all for free. We've just a few days out from being able to pick up where I left off in Final Fantasy VII Remake with Intergrade, and all that E3 spiciness is getting my mouth watering. Let's go, June. Love you all lots. Black Lives Matter. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. Brian from Happy Gaming. I think you said in the post, actually, Brian, for me to start. Let me double check. Let me go back to the... Oh, has Patreon... I think Patreon has deleted... Oh, no, it hasn't. Sorry. I thought Patreon deleted you in the time.
Oh, my God.
To get these comments. That's Patreon, baby. Patreon! I think you gave me a TRT or something to abide by. Or maybe that was somebody else. No, I think it was watch the first 3 minutes. Okay. Yes, okay. Just want to make sure. Take it away.
While flying high in the clouds above what is now a safe, content, and populated city, it's difficult to not feel at least a little bit of pride in the accomplishments my acolytes have achieved. While not acting alone, we watch them toil and struggle with their unique problems that stem from their environment. As their divine deity of worship, I heard their pleas and cries for aid, all while trying to keep the monsters that lurk in the world away from their doorstep. Working together, we built a thriving nation. Now no longer needed, there's a real sense of contented gratification in saying goodbye to these hardworking people, in order to move on geographically and help someone else who strives to grow as well. This is the cycle of Enix's ActRaiser, a game with a unique hybrid of platforming action and city building. Like many city building games of the era, much of the time you'll be looking at a growing town through a bird's eye view. However, unlike games like SimCity, ActRaiser isn't about managing the economic resources of these towns in order to develop them. Instead, all of these are expedited and taken care of by the people themselves. This is where part of ActRaiser's twists and gameplay design comes in. You're not a mayor or a town builder, but a god. And with the help of your unnamed angel supporter, you'll fly through the towns as they grow, removing the threats of monsters, all while listening to the plights of the hardworking people below as they pray. Every city starts small, with just 2 inhabitants, with the simple request of keeping them safe, and guiding them to where to build next. This guidance is as simple as tracing a path through a grid of the geography, and over time, more and more people will inhabit what was once undeveloped and barren. Nevertheless, there are barriers to keeping the village from expanding into a bustling city. The path to growth is often barred by obstacles that you'll need to use your divine powers to remove. Through the request of your people, bushes and trees can be eliminated with the powers of lightning. Sands are washed away through flooding rain, and both snow and marsh are dried up with your scorching sunlight. But that's not all that stands in the way of progress. These lands are overwrought with beasts of many forms, all who want nothing more than to impede your progress by massacring the growing population. They'll fly away with the people, destroy their crops, demolish their homes, and the worst variety will wipe all of your progress to basically zero.
Whoa.
Your angel guardian will need to personally keep them at bay while you simultaneously remove building obstacles and orient the town's construction to help the townspeople fight to get rid of these dangers. In these portions, there's a real sense of teamwork in watching homes and roads crop up. Each region holds its own difficulties, like the aforementioned trees or sand that impedes expansion, which you'll need to remove to assist the inhabitants. Beyond these, though, each location also comes with its own flavor of story as well. A lost boy needs to be given bread from his parents, and villagers who worship false idols bring a temple of monsters that creates danger.
Bah, gotcha, Happy Gaming. Zap! That is a 6-minute review that you can see the other half of. Happy Gaming's YouTube channel. Of course, Happy Gaming also has a Patreon. Thank you very much for jumping back in.
Good stuff.
Yeah, somebody said, I wonder if Black and White was inspired by this in chat. And yeah, Actors was something that had friends that were just like screaming at me at the time. Like, Actors!
Yeah.
Never checked it out. You could see the angels, but from the void. Hello, Jones, Brad, and fellow allies. For this community showcase, I will change things up a little bit. Instead of showing more obscure Mario characters, today I just bring you Waluigi. Nintendo released a couple of Waluigi images recently, and I had to make a whole video about them. Get ready for some obscure Waluigi lore. Hope you enjoy it. Join the From the Void Games channel on YouTube for a whole Waluigi video and a lot more, such as a list of hidden gems on the Nintendo Switch. Thanks, love, respect, From the Void, aka Arthur. Yeah, everything that you said so far, Arthur, I did not know any of this crazy stuff, so looking forward to it.
I was just cycling through one of my gaming news feeds the other day, and then, out of nowhere, bam! Waluigi. The thing is that this was not just any old Waluigi picture. This is voluptuous Waluigi. By the way, this is an official, never before seen Nintendo rendition of Waluigi. And that was enough to get me all fired up to make this entire video about Nintendo's biggest underdog. This is just Waluigi. First of all, let's address the fact that Waluigi is one of Nintendo's characters with the most potential, but they just choose to ignore him. Everyone knows how much of an absurd it is that to this day, after 5 iterations of Super Smash Bros, Waluigi is still not a playable character in the game. I mean, a non-specific piranha plant is a playable character in Smash Ultimate, but not Waluigi? That's just outrageous. But why, right? Why is Waluigi such a rejected character compared to his peers? The only possible reason I could find is that Waluigi is not a Nintendo created character. Yeah, Camelot Software were the ones who created Waluigi, so this could very well be a case of rejection of an adopted child situation, you know? And that's such wasted potential because Waluigi has some great qualities to use in games. I'm just gonna say it outright. Waluigi is a waterbender. Yes, I mean it. Waluigi is a waterbender and he doesn't even need a stupid power-up, he simply has water powers naturally. Period. In Mario Power Tennis, he can summon a swimming pool out of thin air and swim through it to reach opponent's trick shots. And if you're not impressed by that, in Mario Hoops 3-on-3, he makes the whole atmosphere around him fill with water in the blink of an eye to swim up and slam dunk. Okay? Waluigi is a top-class waterbender, and Nintendo insists in having him use these powers only to play sports for fun. Such wasted potential. Waluigi is also a terrific user of his own legs.
So awesome.
And that was a weird sentence. And I don't just mean soccer. Oh no. Very few people know that Waluigi is a certified Muay Thai fighter. I mean it. Check him out in Game & Watch beating the hell out of Luigi here. That's a Muay Thai stance there, okay? Waluigi is a Muay Thai master. I bet you weren't expecting that. In one of the Mario Party games, he even defeats Bowser single-handedly, and his final move is a sick kick on the head. Other than that, we only see him use his great legs to play sports and dance. Okay, Waluigi dancing is pretty awesome, I'll give you that.
That was a great video.
Oh man,
You
yeah.
actually sold me on the waterbender. I can't believe that.
I was curious how you're gonna stick that landing, but yeah, didn't realize that stuff. That's was always when we did retrospectives, I was like, I always want to do just one on just sports, just Mario sports, like all the Mario sports stuff.
There's
Obviously,
a lot.
Kart and everything included in there. Yeah, even just that is like too much to bite off.
Mm-hmm.
From Bo, hello. Not much to show this month. Decided to show my past failed Unreal Engine 4 projects. Love and respect.
Oh.
Hello, everybody.
Okay.
There's not much progress I've made with the game, so I figured I'd show you my failed or abandoned projects I worked on before this. I can't show you much, because a few years ago, Windows decided to update without my permission and corrupted half of my Unreal and Blender files. So, thanks, Windows. The earliest failure I made that wasn't destroyed was a top-down shooter. I was trying to make a top-down Rainbow Six type of game, but the AI was kicking my ass and it was kind of boring to play. So I quit and moved on. This game was meant to be a third-person arcade shooter. You choose from multiple fantasy or mythical creatures and fly to an island, shoot bad guys, fly to the next island, and do it again. But this project just went nowhere. It wasn't fun. I put in dashing, flying, shotguns, rockets, grappling hooks, power-ups, but nothing made it more fun. The final nail in the coffin was EA announced Anthem, and seeing a AAA studio have similar gameplay and it still looked boring to play, that's when I stopped. After playing Pirate Warriors 3 and loving it, I wanted to make a hack-and-slash game. I emulated a lot of Crocodile's and Doflamingo's moveset and got most of it working. The combo system just never felt right though. I would show you, but it was one of the casualties of a Windows massacre. I did find a rough backup file of the projects. I then started the project I'm working on now. But I did go back and try to make a combo system that felt good. And for the most part, it works. Well, that's it. Hopefully I can show you more next month. Thanks for watching.
That was cool, man.
Really cool. Yeah. Hate to break it to you, Bo, your failed attempts are better than some of my
Keep at it, dude.
Hello, Brandon and Brad. Excited for E3 the studio, dare we hope. Normality is seemingly materializing again. At the time of the broadcast, it'll be less than 2 days away from my first Pfizer shot. Something different this time. Still music, but with my face, though hidden behind a mask. I was on holiday recently, somewhere in southern France. Just somewhere in southern France, you know. And an unexpected musical opportunity arose. We were visiting a little town of, sorry Jones, more of my French nonsense, but I'm genuinely not making this up. Entrégues-sur-Troyes. I don't know. There's a lot going on there.
Of course.
By the way, loved seeing you all get relatively caught up on Asterix, which is practically in my DNA as a descendant of those Gauls fighting Julius Caesar's Roman occupation. in 50 AD. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the Gauls. Anyway, while visiting that town, we heard the local church organ from the streets and decided to get in and have a listen. The lovely organist then proposed that we come up and try the instrument, which means I have for you a few holiday clips of me playing a church organ for the first time. Sorry in advance, this was unexpected. I'm only a very basic pianist on a good day, so expect many hesitations, shaky footage, and people talking in the background. Oh, and watch until the very end for a silly thing I saw during this trip. Also, all of my love to Isla, and of course, love and respect, Kevin Gillet. It just, both you and I have headphones on. For people at home, this is just one of those fun things. I really feel like I'm there, Kevin. I really appreciate this video. The acoustics in this video are fascinating. Yoshi's Island, by the way. Yoshi's Island on an organ.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I just imagine some kid strolling through this town, like, that's Yoshi's Island. What? like to imagine the guy in the background is like telling the story of Kevin's music, you know? Yeah, you better. Yeah, baby.
Classic.
This is supposed to be like a happy song.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be one of those things like when you hear in a church, you're like, ah, yes, reverence. It's supposed to be like spiritualism. Oh, Jesus. It's one of the scariest tracks I've ever heard in my life.
It's cast. That game.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, Hubert.
Michael Hubert?
That's Hubert. That's Hubert's patisserie. Hubert makes his muffins. Amazing. Thank you.
That was sick.
That was such a treat. Also fun to travel the world with y'all. From Elliot Key, some context. I've been making perlers for a while, even sent you guys some, but I had the idea after Kyle played Ham Ham Heartbreak to do a time-lapse video for the fan art portion of this stream. I really loved making it, so I ended up spending about $50 on equipment and started a TikTok. The first video was made with just my laptop webcam. You can see the evolution from there. You can also find me on TikTok and in Twitch chat as Hydro Shutterbug, all one word. Hydro Shutterbug, regular spelling. Let respect. I need access to the Google Drive link, and I will double check to see if it is there after the fact. Hydro, I don't know if you have done that later. That is the other one that I'm missing. However, I do have Chris Parks.
They said the link should work now.
The link should work now, all right. I will double check all of that. So we have 3 people missing that I will double check after the stream, and we will get all of that fixed. KB Holmes also said hold, but that wasn't a link that was wrong. That was all that was posted by the deadline. So KB Holmes, that is KB Holmes' contribution. But Chris Park is here with some more Fate Grand Order. And says, I think Brad's the only regular that dodged this. Have you never seen Fate Grand Order on the showcase? This is this mobile game, turn-based mobile game with all the crazy attacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. I don't think I've seen this.
A custom collection of Fate Grand Order characters specifically for Brad Ellis. Enjoy.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, this game does look crazy. Wait, what?
King Arthur in space.
King Arthur pop idol? Is this what the game really is?
There's like different versions of famous people.
Oh. Okay. Does Ben play this? Seems like a Ben game.
Yeah, I think he has checked it out.
Overkill.
Take that random skeleton.
すべての毒あるもの、害あるものをタッチ。我が力の限り、人々の幸福を導かん。ナイチンゲールプレッジ。
Whoa. No effect.
Nightingale, clearly a heavy sword wielder. Really great sword. Take a flex, Nightingale.
Are they fighting in London right now?
Hits her with the hospital bed.
Oh, summary.
Smacks him in the face with a hospital bed.
just random with the submarine.
Yep. I need this at least once a month. At least.
This is the best character, man. Holy shit. There's a Roman soldier they're fighting too? Van Gogh.
Oh, so that's a little bonus. Start night bonus. So good.
What the? That was so weird.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
but okay.
But okay. Okay, so let me go through. Let me do
that was
the first
insane.
One that we missed.
That we missed.
You might hear some. You might hear some strange things. See strange things. Don't worry about any of it. Talk amongst yourselves.
Hey, chat.
Boop.
How you doing?
Airs. That was Captain Nemo. Cool. Goes by so fast. Sometimes I miss the names.
Yeah, it was very fast. So I guess it's just like characters from and people. They're just, I don't know, just a bunch of random people put together.
Dare I say,
in anime form.
Yeah, if you're telling me that you're not into that anime bullshit, I don't believe you.
Yeah. Oh, Guilty Gear's tonight? Cool. Nice, dude. I bet Ben is just sweating. Waiting for that to go live.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Any idea when the bets are going up?
Bets always go up at the very last minute. This is
Yeah.
something we go through every single E3 every year where people are like, where are bets go up at seconds before our coverage starts. So
because we want to get as much info as possible.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it has been, so it always shall be. Thus, with bets has never changed. It is only in your mind that you think it is different. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, so one of these things down. Okay, all right. Almost there. So much stress. I'm just kidding. Get everything organized in the showcase folder, even though it's in the download folder now. Boom. Okay.
Download.
So we just talked about the Purlers. So let's start off with Elliot Key.
Mm-hmm.
There's the stop motion.
Ooh.
And I don't know if this is supposed to be flip. Oh no, it's on TikTok. Of course not. Yes.
Oh, it's Hamtaro. That's the game you're talking about. The Kyle's playing.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I could see this being very aesthetically pleasing. Just
yeah.
Beads, Brad, in the showcase, blowing up. Beads, very big.
I know. It's cool.
Since you've been gone, making a big play for Beads. Yeah.
That looks good. Oh, Ham. Is he a Hamtaro character?
Nice.
Forgive me. I don't know anything about that hamster anime. Sorry.
All right. And then Hills.
Robert Lee. Hi, all.
Oh, this looks pretty
promising. Excuse me. Robert Lee sneaking back in. The Q&A, I guess. That wasn't the showcase. Hi, Jones and Brad. Just a random video putting up this month. Hope someone can enjoy. Apologies for the quality of the capture footage. I can't seem to get decent capture from the PS5. I don't apologize for the ending of this video. It's a moment that might not happen again in my lifetime, and I'm trying to savor every moment of it. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Robert Lee. Oh my. Hype.
Robert Lee. Hi, all. Let's talk boss fights. Some of the most memorable boss fights for me include the final Valkyrie boss in God of War, which I just like put my toe in. Was like, nope.
Yeah, I fought her like 5 times. I was just like, I'm not gonna do it.
And took over 200 attempts to finally beat. But what a fight!
But you didn't give up.
Now let's do this.
Moving a bit slow.
Dead.
Well, this is a fine mess.
Wow.
Well, that's it then.
Look at this determination.
Around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
Careful with the Simpsons quotes, but it all works. Yeah. We will get nailed for that stuff, and it ain't pretty. So I appreciate the humor.
Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
Fire from behind.
Oh!
50 minutes.
Left flank incoming. Against brother.
Oh! Oh, I love doing that.
Yeah.
Man, you can play this. Yeah.
The crowd.
And how good did you feel after that?
Havertz in a pocket of space. Anderson came and didn't get there. Chance for Chelsea. Goal for Chelsea. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final.
Take that, Manchester.
Chelsea have won the
We're getting
Champions
flagged
League.
backwards and forwards for this one.
When you waste my time, I get a little aggressive.
Okay, Brad. Jeez. Yikes. Okay, and then there was one more. It was Elliot, and then it was Jeremy Waltman with the the new key art wallpapers and in-game screenshots of Pap and Pup. Okay. I'm gonna try that link again. I don't have confirmation that this link works now, but maybe it does. Survey says yes. Cool.
Yes.
See, this kind of vibe, this kind of slowdown, this is the day before the showcase. This is what I do. Skyfall was the movie this time. Try to put something on. It was going to be Alien 3, but it's not on Amazon anymore. So I had to look, do you want to pay for Alien 3? I'm like, I am not paying for Alien 3. Nothing wrong with Alien 3. I'm just not paying for it.
Just not paying for it.
So here's a, obviously this is not video, but this is not, hold on a second. Now we got to get over to drawings. That's what this is.
Guts.
What's his name? Guts? Yeah. I always want to call him Berserk. There's the wallpaper for Weatherworn. So again, you can see this, only a couple colors going on there, but are really fun.
Oh.
It all obviously works with them being out in the wild. It's fun to compare the style there. One for your phone, if you want to go through the due diligence. This is Weatherworn.
Looks like Yub Nub's outfit from Return of the Jedi, yeah.
That's one for everybody's phone. And then here's what the game looks like when you get it. So it's just an interesting juxtaposition of this this kind of cute style with the very nature celebrated. And here's a winter.
Oh.
Weather-worn, The Adventure of Pap and Pup.
It reminds me of a Game Boy Advance game in a good way. Just that art style for some reason.
And that was the Alex Community Showcase. Yay!
Oh shit!
Done via Discord for the last time ever. Hopefully, I don't. Hey, we got a pretty dumb society at large. Don't put it past us to be back in the same position a year or two from now. Thank you, Brad, for putting up with it for the pandemic and for being here today. I'm looking forward to the next time. Of course, I'll see you in the studio soon, but I'm looking forward to the next time I can sit down with you on the showcase, sit down on the couch, share a water bottle, and go through all of the...
a 5-hour energy.
The 5-hour energy. I'm going to pop one just after. I was going to do it before I had some more coffee. The coffee got me through the showcase, but I was going to do one
Jones,
before.
Wait till me and Huber show up. We're going to get you hyped up for E3. I'm going to get you hyped, dude. Don't worry.
I'm just excited. Yeah, just every time, things have changed this last year. It's been a tough time to build up your expectations. But folks, we are... again, doing the showcase back in the studio next time. If you want to be a part of the showcase, it's our $10 and above tier. I'm actually going to do this live right now. Let me bring up here. Doing it live. I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to make it public so you too can check it out. What you want to do is go to patreon.com/EasyAllies. At the top, you'll see our tabs. Community Showcase, Cup of Jones, exclusive shows, a bunch of other stuff. One of those is the showcase, and when you click on that, you'll see all of the showcases for June, but all of the months prior. And the community showcase for June 2021 is now public, so you can go and you can see all of these tabs, all of these comments. Some people were pimping their other work, their Instagrams, their Twitters, their YouTube pages. Some people have Patreons. All of that. All of those people are doing good work, and all of those people are supporting Easy Allies. So we are about to return back into our studio. So many of these people have been at $10 or up the entire time during this pandemic, supporting Easy Allies, making this happen for all of us. So people say, hey, thanks for giving us the outlet. Thank you for giving us a job. Thank you for giving us a business. And this is always so much fun. It's work to put together, but it's always so much fun to catch up with one specific ally who is in this chair, which will be in person next time. So thank you. You can be at that tier again, $10 and up. The post goes up a week or two before the end of the month. And I will put guidelines on it the next time. Sorry. Always so fun to follow all of you around the world and see what's going on in your corner of the planet. And always fun to spend time with Brad Ellis. Mwah! Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Let me get a Discord up so I can shut Brad up right quick. There we go. Ha ha ha. Quiet, Brad. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye.